Connecting, connecting. I'm live. I'm here. Oh boy. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go for a walk later. Um, Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. I tried to do a video today with a voiceover. Eh, it's my first attempt on doing something like that. It's okay, but I'm hoping the message comes through because I'm really working on a lot of I'm just going by because the information came to me about working with menopause and the energies with menopause, and also how astrology aligns with a lot of different changes that women go through with um, with astrology. Man, my brain just went fried. Just went fried, man. This energy is it's intense. I mean, Jupiter is right on top of my moon. Right on top of my moon. So here's Jupiter on top of, so everything just feels like everything's amplified um right now. And then with this full moon that's happening in Sagittarius. Now, if anybody who knows Sagittarius are um they they are the expansive one, the exaggerators. That's what I'm going to call them. They're the exaggerators. Meaning, if anybody knows, they have knows somebody who really identifies as Sagittarius, they have sort of like a verbal diarrhea of information, right? They're also ones who can't let go of things very easily. So, in other words, if they are wanting to, especially if they want to hold somebody accountable, whoa, it's like I've known Sagittarius where I would have been like, I would have walked away. I would have said, fuck it. It's not worth my time and my energy, but not with them. They want to hold that because they are like they're the sign of the jury, right? So they're also ones that will expand a lot. So a lot of things get expanded. So if they stub their toe, where for say I stub my toe, okay, shit, I stubbed my toe. Oh, fuck, I'll swear. Before I said, like, oh my god, and it's just a whole thing with them. So we're finding a lot of things being very explosive, a lot of things being elaborated in big ways. We're finding, the LA riots are a huge thing right now that are going on in the world. That energy, that consciousness is going up. We have shootings that just happened in Austria at a high school. So things seem to be exaggerated. Things seem to be out there. And we're on the eve of this very powerful strawberry moon. And it is the lowest hanging. So meaning the lowest hanging moon since 2007. We're not going to have another one till 2043. So it's rare, it's potent, and it's loud. It's loud. This lunation is ruled by Jupiter, but and Jupiter is in Cancer, and it's exalted. And it's exalted because the moon moves on a regular basis, right? So as the moon is moving, um, and it moves quickly, Jupiter receives new information. Jupiter likes that because it can work with it, it can expand it, it can do things with it. And this isn't this lunation with Jupiter, it's a placement that craves nourishment and safety and emotional belonging. Most people, well, on average, if you look at the placement of where their Jupiter, and if Jupiter is in Cancer, they usually leave home, which isn't a good thing. This is about returning to where you need to go, returning to that place of home, that place of security. And it's not for running away. It's not about running away, but it might feel uncomfortable to be there. It might be uncomfortable to be back in that home. And that could be for many different reasons that are going on within that person. Jupiter is also squaring Saturn and Neptune, while Mars in Leo squares Uranus in Taurus. There is a pressure cooker of alignment, and it is identifying that pressure within inside of yourself and not doing a spiritual bypass, not just sort of like, it's whatever and stuff like that. No, this is intense, and it's intense for a reason, because it's intense to get us to get into the uncomfortable, to move towards the change that we need to make in our life, not pretending nothing is happening. And that's where a lot of people are. They're pretending nothing is happening or nothing is going on. I've been very good, pat myself on the back, on not commenting on certain posts, right? I just let them go. Because the thing is that there are parts of what is happening within this pressure cooker, and it's not worth you to try and change somebody's mind. It's not worth for you to go in there to try and push somebody in a direction you think they should go. This is where it's like it's important for you to understand what is happening. There's bigger things going on than what we know, right? And a bigger understanding than what we actually know what is happening at this time. There is the asteroid Chaos, which is right beside Jupiter, and it's squaring off everything too. And it's like it's bringing in this chaos, it's bringing in this activation because through chaos, I mean, if you've worked with the goddess Kali, you know that it is through her chaos that gets you to where you need to be. Through all the terrible turmoil and the upset and the moving and the grooving, it moves you to where you think, where you need to be. And a lot of times we feel we're very fearful of that. We don't want to go there. We don't want to move there. And there was a time in my life, one of the times in my life, one of my timelines where I moved practically, no word of a lie, from 2014, 2013 to 2014, I moved practically every year. Every 6 months, there's something crazy would happen, you know? Um, we moved from a place that we lived in for many years, and we had to move because the basement it was a slumlord, and there was mold and everything, and then finally there was a decision made between the landlord and I that we just had to get the fuck out of there. It just was not a good place to be, and nor was he willing to fix it up. He basically wanted us out of there. So we did. We were out. We moved to one place, and it seemed really nice, and then we ended up having to move from that place. And then and it seemed like we moved down the road, and then we moved to another place where we weren't there too long, and then that was just during chaos in my life, crazy chaos, um, in my life, and that's where my son had his episodes and crashed and everything. It was just another time. And this is where I'm feeling like this energy that's coming in is getting me to really look at, yeah, the craziness that's happening within my own life at this time, where I'm at a crossroads on I need to make this work. This is where the power of with Uranus coming in, excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze again, but I don't want to. The power of Uranus coming, or the power of Jupiter coming in, squaring over to Uranus to make this the higher frequency, the higher energies. And stepping into that frequency of wanting to make this work. And this is where the direction of what I do as a spiritual person, as a spiritual worker, as a spiritual person who has a business about spirituality, as moving into a direction um of workshops and courses and self-directed courses. So right now in September, like in the next couple, we have a course that is coming together that on it's an 8-week course on stepping into your menopause and talking about the hormones, the brain, the changes within the brain and why things happen within the brain, bringing in the herbs, the astrology. It's also bringing in different things that you can work on. And this is going to be totally self-directed videos, everything that are going to go along with it, meditations, the whole bit. And then just meeting maybe once a week or every 2 weeks throughout this course, probably every week. At the end of every week, we'll meet to see where you're at and then introduce the next week. Um, this course right now, the price that I have it at is going to be $200 for this 8-week course. And this course is going to be one that is going to be open to whoever wants to take it, but it's also going to be one that I'm going to be really promoting and pushing out there, along with everything else of other workshops that are coming in. So totally moving into a direction that I was not sure of before, stepping into something that I'm not really familiar of, but I am allowing myself to embrace it. And this full moon that's coming in is really allowing yourself to harness it, allowing yourself to really take a look at where that movement of energy that you are going into. And this is also where you might feel like things are overloaded, things are, feeling too much, but you got to take that energy and and go into the direction, take that passion and go into the direction. You will feel that you don't want to go through that door. That door feels like it has too much chaos and too much energy in it for you, but you have to go and you have to put your head in. You have to go and see that door is opening. It's getting you to look at things that you probably didn't want to look at before and didn't want to see. And so what this, and especially with this full moon, is good for, it's taking back your evolutionary power, getting honest about your beliefs and where they are and where they may be outdated, where things may not be in alignment anymore and don't work for you. And this is deepening your emotional security. And with Jupiter in Cancer, especially in the face of external chaos, as things get really chaotic, as things get crazier, people are going to be searching for some spiritual base. They're going to be searching for something that they can grab hold on. The majority of people that I do work with are women. The majority of them are perimenopausal or menopausal. And I feel like this is the direction I need to take. This is the direction I need to go into, along with working with the energies of how as above so below affects us through the transformation and changes within our lives, and how we are able to walk upon this road in the midst of the craziness, in the midst of the chaos, and what is unfolding. And what is unfolding right now is supposed to unfold. And that's a real hard ball. That's a hard thing for a lot of people um to take, right? Because they don't want to uh they want to look at the world and blame it on somebody else, right? They want to blame it on whoever it is. If the biggest one right now is that, I mean, blaming it on Trump. They don't like Trump. We're blaming everything on Trump. But there's more behind the scenes that meets the eyes with everything that is unfolding right there, and how the astrology is lining up for everything to move into a new direction. We are writing a new spiritual world right now in how we are wanting to form it, how we are wanting to gather and come together as a collective. And there is a lot of division in that. There is a lot of um old ways of thinking, old spiritualities. I find, I've just took a peek at a couple people who do manifestation. And I find, wow, they have changed so much in what they do and how they do. Where before they weren't into, the crystals or things like that. And now they're really coming into more of a spaces of divine will and this alignment to the divine, and following um that energetic transformation within that. And this is where for me it's like, oh wow, okay, so I wasn't so crazy because to me it, when I listen to so many of these manifestors, and this is what you have to do, and it's not divine will, and it's not this, and I'm just like, yeah, it is divine will, it is, it's the astrology is telling you things, it is helping to direct you, things are fated, they are meant to be. And and this is where it's like understanding that and walking with this within this frequency, it allows for the flow to happen. Doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect for you, but it gives you a kind of like a road map, and understanding that road map for yourself. And that's where we're at right now. We're at this transformation and changes that are coming in, and the chaos that are coming in now. Just looking at what's going on with um w- what's happening in the states is interesting, um and how people are getting upset about ICE and what they're doing. One, they are doing their job. They have come back, and even some mainstream medias have said that the people that they have detained are bad people. They're not nice people. They do really, 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 really bad things, and they needed to be detained. Now, having the information leaked out is a whole nother layer of why is it being leaked out? Why is that happening? We're coming into the summer. So we're coming into a summer of chaos. We're coming into a summer of disorder. And I think when Mars finally, when Mars leaves Leo, we're going to find where it's going to be like, um, trying to get our thoughts together, trying to get things together might feel a little bit out of sorts with it all, right? It's going to feel a little bit like we're unable to grasp things much as much as we can, right? And Mercury's zooming along, starting to slow down because he will retrograde in Leo, but that's in a it's in a little bit. And we do have Neptune and Saturn are going to be going retrograde in, I think, July. So making their transition. So at this time, we do have that, still have that movement of forwardness. We still have that movement of allowing ourselves to step in, recognize what's going on within our own selves, and what kind of changes we need to make. What are the things that are working, and what are the things that are not working? Um, and allowing ourselves to align within within our passion and within our knowledge. And will we get thrown curveballs? Definitely, definitely. There's a lot that's coming in, and getting us to sort of feel off balance. But we're also, it's inviting us to really take a full spiritual um our authorship, to be the author of our ship, of our story, to allow ourselves to step into this, and to be the person writing it, and not just the person on the sidelines. This isn't a time to sit on the sidelines and just to be the observer. This is a time of stepping in to be, this is my life. This is what I know I have to do. And in that, it's going to lead you to where, maybe in many different directions through this all. One of the things, even though I moved houses at that time, I was doing ghost tours with a person, no longer doing those anymore with her, but, doing ghost tours on a regular basis. But what came out of that was I met some really beautiful people. I aligned with, Andrea and Greg, who I wouldn't have met if I wasn't doing those tours, and who came to be the people that we lived with for a short time, and they hardly knew me, and now we're besties, who stepped in to help me in a greater way, in a way that I never thought anybody could do for us, to get us to a place that was, stationary for about 5 years, which we needed. in order for us to transition to where we are now, in order for my children to be able to feel, yeah, we can step out on our own, and this is what we need to do for ourselves, and be the grown ups that they are. You know, in that flow and in that transition, this is where we are heading again. It's not to run away, but it's to embrace. I think a lot of people that are in this craziness in LA, where they, years ago, to go, I have friends that live in LA that don't live in LA anymore. They live on the outskirts and stuff like that. Where in their younger days, to go downtown and stuff was to, go to raves and go to parties and, craziness like that. And now it's changed. I've watched The German in Venice, and he shows you know, um, where they drag race and stuff like that. And uh, but I feel like in a lot of those, the people that are doing it are from Mexico. Like that's what I've seen. Not nothing against Mexican people, but this is where it's showing that maybe their freedom is more in Mexico than it is where they are. But to go there is a mindset, right? Of them having to go home, and that's probably where more of their freedom is there. And that's the same way with, for us, and that's for a lot who have come here for destruction and not embracing this as their home. It's to take that step back. It's like, this isn't your home. It's time for you to go home, right? And that's where we're going to find conflict, and that's where we're going to find where things are going to get really crazy, because many don't want to, or don't want to face that of what they need or have to face at this time. That's on the astrological spiritual side, right? And in stepping into that frequency and stepping into that, that means you have to step into some radical change and really face those fears, or the feeling of lack, or the feeling that, I can't make it there. I can only make it here. And this is what I have seen over many years, and knowing many people who've immigrated to new countries. And I often wonder, I'm like, you come here and you're struggling more here than you ever did in your own country. And 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 many of them that I've done readings for, now that I look at, they had a Jupiter in Cancer, which was interesting, which was very interesting. And now we're in a time that, with that Jupiter, because Sagittarius is about migration and immigration, right? And so with Jupiter being in Cancer, which is about home, we're going to find a lot of people that are going to be migrating, that are going to be moving, that are having to move, or will be moved in many different ways. And that could be within a spiritual sense, with what they are doing, an evolutionary change and transformation. Some are going to do huge spiritual bypasses and aren't going to embrace that. They're going to run the other way. They're going to think it's greener over there. Let me go over here. And instead of embracing yourself and coming into um, into a grounding of what spirit and what your guides are trying to guide you to. I was listening to a lovely guy yesterday, and he's a reflector from Human Design, and I just love listening to him, because he's got very cool vibe. He lives in Hawaii, but he said that you could get, in Maui. He says it's a very powerful, powerful place, and you could get lost in where all of these sort of hippie, he could call them, like, these hippie dippy people want to pull you over here, and you want to sway over here. But he goes, Maui is a very um grounding place, and she has a message for you, and it's for you to listen. If you're not going to listen to her message, she's going to send you somewhere. She's going to send you in or kick you off the island in some way. And so for him, where he was in a place, and he was in a beautiful, he was in a relationship, but in this relationship, he felt like, I have to go. I'm feeling too confined. But Maui kept telling him that, no, you got to, this is going to be where you're going to stay, this is where you're going to get married, you're going to have children. And he was like, hey, that ain't gonna, that's not my thing. And the girl that he was with, who's now his wife, said to him, he said, and she just said, basically, she goes, if you want to be with other people, that's fine, you can go do it, but not with me. Like, you can't come back to me, this is my boundaries. And he said, okay, I understand. I just need to explore my own inner soul. So he went out, he didn't have any affairs or anything, but he came back and he said, no, I want to be here, this is where I want to be. He's married now, he's been married for several years now and has a couple kids. And he says he would not, he fought that for so long because he felt that that would be a tie down, that his freedom would be gone, and his manhood would be taken from him in some way by just solidifying a relationship with somebody. It's how interesting that is. And I feel like we're in this time right now where a lot of people are feeling, well, what's going to be taken away from me? Things are going to be taken away from me. I'm not going to have this, I'm not going to have that. But when we step into that spirit, when we step into that divine will, when we step into that walk, we find everything's there. It's there for us. It may not be easy, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is not going to be easy. This is going to be a huge transformation and change. This is going to get us to look at the world in a new way and step into the world with freshness. But it is a calling that we need to take. And it's not to sit around and say, oh, that's not happening. The riots aren't happening. They're nothing. Or the shooting and all. That's just nothing. That's just over there. Don't worry about it. Don't look. No, take a look. Remember, whatever's going on the outside is a projection of our inside. So this is a time of looking at how we can heal that inside. Because things are going to be loud. Things are going to be crazy and chaotic and out of order. So take some time. Allow yourself to, if you need some, lavender keeps coming in. So chamomile and some lavender tea if you want, or adding some roses or hibiscus and having some hibiscus tea. Just taking that and allowing yourself to really embrace it and embrace that beauty that Mother Nature has for you. And bring in, I got the Shiva stone right here by me right now. And it's sometimes she disappears. Like, I know she's on my desk, and then she appears. There she is, but bringing that energetic body in and around you for that calmness. So bringing in the goddess, bringing in that beautiful goddess energy and allowing that to be around you, to nurture you. And know that she's there. Right now I'm going through a series. It's the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and stepping into that Sacred Heart. And the Sacred Heart has always been something that was in our house. Like, we had pictures of the Sacred Heart. I got this picture of this, the Sacred Heart of Jesus here that I have by me. My parents had a little silver cross with the Sacred Heart on it. It's entering into that of that love, right? And having that, love that, he opened his heart to the world, right? Out of all the, gods that have been here, opened his heart to the world and said, I'm here for you, no matter what. But knowing that if you come to me within my heart, I will protect you. Know that the Holy Spirit is with you at all times. But know also that you will be persecuted in some way. And stepping into that is sometimes fearful. It's fearful to step into your spirituality, knowing that you could or will be persecuted in some way. People will sneer at you. People won't like what you do or say or look, or, oh, you do astrology and you still like Jesus? How can you do that? Well, because I know as above, so below. I know there's a bigger directive of the universe than meets the eye. And there's so many alignments that happen. Why 33 years? Well, that's just after his Saturn return. Why is that so important? Well, is you're really stepping into that energetic body of truth of who you are in the direction of where you want to go. And can get in won't get into too much, but this is just for us right now, stepping into that energetic body, into the newness, right? Yeah, the Shiva stone. The Goddess stone. Let's pull some cards. I'm holding it this way. What is it? Oh, it's a new journey. We're heading on a new journey. So the Fool card comes in. It's the beginning of something new. It's the beginning of going forward. We may not know exactly what that looks like or where it is, but we're headed in that new direction, right? We have knowledge. It's not like we are young little chitlins out there just running out and just going for it and just, oh, whatever happens, happens. We have knowledge. We have some knowledge there. We just, so we have to trust in that knowledge that we do have and move forward and understand that there might be some knowledge that's going to come or knowledge that we have that no longer works. It's no longer in alignment because we've been through it. We've been through a lot. So there's a lot that we've been through, but we've come above it. We're able to continue on. We're tattered, we're worn, we feel beat up right now. There's with the energies that are coming in, it does feel beat up. It does feel like we've gone through the ringer, and it's like you telling me that we still have to go through the ringer. I'm like, yeah, there's more that we have to go through. And it's even if you live to 80, 90, we're still learning, we're still evolving, right? And we have to understand that. It doesn't stop at 65. It still continues. We're still learning, we're still evolving at all times in our lives. And sometimes it feels tattered, and sometimes we feel like we don't really have the strength to do what it is that we want to do. So we have to put our strength in the divine, in a higher power, and know that in putting that in a higher power, that we trust in that direction that is being shown to us, and step forward when the door is opening. And even though it might feel chaotic and crazy and nutters, but it's trusting in that. So if you are wanting a new moon reading, definitely they're still available. I still have time to give you that reading, limited amount that I'm able to sell right now. They're $50. They're recorded. They're sent to you. It's based on your astrology, your natal chart, and bringing you the energies of what this full moon is coming in for you. And I find it funny. I find it funny because what can I say? I did somebody bought one. Okay, fine, cool. But I love it when they go, well, I wanted you to focus on this, this, and this. And I'm just like, I did. But this is the energy that's coming in for you right now. These are the changes that are coming in for you right now. And they're like, okay. And I said, it's funny because it's the changes they don't want. It's the changes, it's the direction. I get it. It's a direction that you're being pushed into that you may not want, or you may not want to deal with, right? And that's a huge thing. And so that's where acceptance comes in. So sending you guys out so much love. If you want to join the Sacred Summer series also, please let me know. It's $100 for the whole summer. and for June, July, and August. And so come on in and be a part of this journey of evolutionary changing times so that you can have a basis of grounding. And in that groundedness, you're able to evolve, you're able to focus and be able to, okay, I'm not going to be as scattered or so scattered. And I feel more in my alignment. There you go. Have a blessed one, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye bye.